Welcome to The Terrible Take, a daily segment telling Steelers Nation what's on our mind.
Hi, I'm Melanie Friedlander, and welcome to My Terrible Take, special weekday edition courtesy of Steelers Depot. Okay, so I'm a little fired up, so much so that I had to ask Dave Bryan to give me an extra terrible take, and I'm not going to apologize. Yeah, I'm a fan, which is short for fanatic, but that doesn't mean I can't be objective, and I always try and focus on facts before forming an opinion. The problem is that when it comes to Steelers' second-year guard Kevin Dotson, there are way too many folks jumping to conclusions that are probably way off base, and I'm just not having it. It all started with a rumor from an unnamed source that was never substantiated a few weeks ago. A report that an anonymous Steelers coach said, off the record, that, quote, the initial motivation for summoning Trey Turner was a general dissatisfaction among the coaching staff with the offseason regimen of young Kevin Dotson, and that, as a result, there was a very real worry that he would be a viable candidate to start at left guard, unquote. Most folks assumed that meant Dotson wasn't in shape. Here's the thing. Dotson, like every one of his teammates, passed his conditioning test. We know this because if he hadn't, he would have started training camp on the PUP list. And he showed up looking ripped and in fine form. All good, right? Except when practices began, Dotson didn't practice with the team or participate in team drills. He wasn't in pads and was mostly seen doing individual work. What did that mean? For a while, we didn't know. Then, about a week ago, head coach Tomlin mentioned in a post-practice presser that Dotson had tweaked something, suggesting a soft tissue injury. No big deal, he'll be back soon was the message he seemed to be sending. And in the meantime, newly signed veteran free agent Rashad Coward was filling in at guard. No Dotson in the Hall of Fame game last Thursday, but no Okorafor or Banner either. Today, we finally started to see our expected O-line starters take the field. Unlike Okorafor and Banner, who ran with the first team O-line, Dotson played with the second team, and somehow the sky was falling. When asked about Dotson's return after practice, Tomlin first stated, "Man, I can't tell you. I'll look at the tape first. It was good to have him back out there today," unquote. When asked in follow-up if Dotson went with the twos because Tomlin liked what Coward had done with the ones, Tomlin replied, quote, "He had done nothing to earn first-team reps. What are we talking about? He's a second-year guy that hadn't worked," unquote. And boy, did that quote get plastered all over the internet. But also today, and it didn't get as much play, ESPN's Brooke Pryor tweeted that the issue that delayed Dotson's training camp start was an ankle injury. And on Twitter, Dotson himself commented that today was his first day practicing and that, quote, "When he says I haven't worked, I legit have not been practicing out with an injury," unquote. So just humor me and focus on the facts for a moment. Number one, the Steelers started training camp almost a week early compared to 29 other teams because of the Hall of Fame game. There was plenty of time in 3 preseason games before week 1 to get the O-line to gel. 2, Dotson only started 4 games last season, so even though he played well, he isn't the same as Okorafor, who started nearly 16 games in 2020. 3, if you actually take the 6 minutes and 6 seconds to watch the Tomlin presser that produced the Dotson quote that has been splashed across the internet, you will see the head coach speaking very quickly and looking very much like he has somewhere else to be the entire time. So I'd argue that his reaction is more about the question than the player. 4, Dotson himself confirmed that he has been held out due to injury and has not been cleared to return to practice until now. So let's give him a chance to prove himself before we kick him to the curb. I have no inside information, and I have no idea if there are any extenuating circumstances. But if conditioning isn't the issue, and there's no indication that it is, what exactly would the coaches take issue with regarding his preparation for training camp? This is practice we're talking about. Practice! Come on, Steelers fans, let's pump the brakes a bit with all the Kevin Dotson slander. It's way too early in training camp not to give the man a fair chance. That's my terrible take. Please follow me on Twitter @GirlSurgeon.
Be sure to follow us at SteelersDepot.com and check out episodes of The Terrible Take every day at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And check out The Terrible Podcast with myself and Alex Kozora every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.